We're on YouTube. Yeah. It shows us, fam.
Trying to share this
It shows us, fam.
tweet.
3 minutes. Test your mic.
Testing, testing. 1, 2, 3. Testing, testing. Testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing, testing.
Come on in, everybody. Convo Couch is here for you. Got a lot of things to talk about today. 2 things in particular we're going to... Come on in, everybody. Convo Couch is here for you. Sorry about that. Got a lot of things to talk about today. Come on in, everybody. Convo Couch is here for you. Sorry about that. Well, that cotton... Perception, conception, whatever that movie is. Contraception. Talking about Syria and the primaries first. Well, of course, there'll be a little Russian Putin segment in there. Look how your hair is just blowing in the breeze.
I know, there's a breeze here. You know, that's why we didn't land on the moon, because there was a breeze.
Maybe we should go with the fans then.
Hey, rocket scientist, do you believe that? That we didn't land on the moon? What? I mean, it's not... Oh, wait, it is. I don't know. Okay, I'm gonna get this out. T-minus 3 minutes for
Should I get back over there?
So, some primaries to unpack, fam.
Yes, we do.
Yeah. If you
Can?
can, yeah,
If it's a manual start, do it.
that would be a preferable thing. Right.
There you go. You want a combo couching? Bring us in, or we'll roll with it.
Us in.
If it's a manual start, do it. All right. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, how
Hi,
are we
everyone.
doing? Let me get this up.
Happy hump day.
Mm-hmm.
What was that about?
I don't know what that's about.
I don't know, fam.
Uh-oh, guess what day it is? Guess what day it is? It's any day that you're here is a great day because you're here with us on the Convo Couch. I am Pasta Jardula.
And I'm Fiorella.
So we got a couple things to talk about. It is day 2 right now of the primaries. Most of the results are in. I say day 2 because there's a couple of elections that haven't been. Let me turn that off. A couple primaries that haven't been decided, fam.
Correct. Sarah Smith, we're still counting the ballots. I have heard from some of her campaign people that she might be going through the general election, it looks like. But I can't confirm that because they're still counting. So we are all rooting for her over here.
Yep.
It would be amazing. And I'm looking forward to, to seeing her win, hopefully.
All right.
So we want to
You want to talk about some winners?
Right?
Hold on.
Yeah,
Let me get some
sure.
victory music. We need some victory music here. I'm going to
Boston's
put on We Are
very
the Champions
musical
today.
Today.
There we go.
That's funny.
Go ahead, my fam. Jessa Lewis.
That's Washington.
Yes,
State,
Jessa Lewis.
And that's District 6.
James Thompson.
That's James Thompson. That's going to be what state, fam? That's going to be Kansas City.
Yes, it is. But then we have Adrian
Kansas.
Plank.
Adrian Plank.
Yes, Adrian Plank is also in Missouri.
That's District 47.
Yes. Curtis Wild.
Missouri.
George Hanna. McKella Skelton.
That's Missouri as well.
And our favorite one of the night, Rashida Tlaib.
And she is in Michigan. Would be the first Palestinian congresswoman.
I won.
So many great winners, especially James Thompson, who was endorsed by Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and Bernie Sanders, if you recall that rally that they just had for him in Kansas. And Alexandria got up and said, hey, you know, there's not supposed to be this kind of leftist candidate here. They, you know, they'll tell you to go home, but look at this rally. Look at how many people showed up and blah, blah, blah. And it's true. It's true. What happened in Missouri and in Kansas and in Washington shows that it's not only the Democrats that that we're rooting for. We're rooting for people that aren't the establishment.
Yeah.
The youth and people who are non-voters are actually coming out in droves to vote for people. Michigan had the largest voter turnout since 1978. And even though Abdul fell short, and we were all very upset by it because there's other issues that happened as well in Michigan, like running out of ballots. And just there, you know, in Kansas too, there was issues with the machines. There's always going to be these issues. But the fact is, you go to the non-voters and you go and you get them out into the polls and you get them to vote. And that makes all the difference. We are so close. But I still think there's, it's just really strange that he lost Abdul lost the Muslim area, because he had a lot of support. And
well, we also had another progressive in the race with him that kind of split the vote. That was really harsh, because
that really bothered me, fam. I'm just going to say something really quick on that, because even when it was 44%, just 44% precincts reporting, Gretchen Whitmer had 314,753 votes, and Abdul had 216,955 votes, and Sherry Thanader, who ran as a Bernie progressive and who really wasn't a progressive, he was laughing. There was a video that Keith Anthony Sikora posted too, where he was laughing when these Republicans were winning, and he had 102,592 votes when it was 44 precincts reporting. When you add up the votes at the end, this person, who to me seems like someone that was just put it in there to get votes from progressives, that's genuinely what I believe in.
Wasn't she though a Justice Democrat?
And yes, he was a Justice Democrat.
Because that's something to consider right here. When we talk about progressive alliances, you have a Justice Democrat and a highly, highly endorsed from all the way from the top up, Bernie Sanders, our revolution candidate, and yet you still run them together. You don't come to some consensus.
And that's happened a lot too. It happened a lot in California as well. And I just think, like, you know, it's very difficult, and because you don't want to tell people they can't vote for this person. You don't want to tell people they can only vote for that person. But at the same time, like, the way this candidate was presented, that they weren't really a progressive. And as an organization, whether it's a Revolution, Justice Democrats, or any organization, you have to be careful on who you endorse, because people will trust the organizations to make these informed choices and these informed calls. And when they fall flat, then it really hurts the movement. I mean, had this man not been on there, I think Abdul would have taken it. And
that's
this is
a good chance
really, really shitty situation right now.
And that is City Hall, Pasadena, by the way, behind us. David Hildebrand thought it was
we're here.
Mar-Largo in the background. No, that's not Mar-Largo in the background.
We'll go there tomorrow.
Right now,
we jet around with Storo's money all the time.
We're in Pasadena right now. And I mean, once again, that is another thing, Fee, I want to kind of harp on too, because we've been following this Randy Bryce, Kathy Myers situation from the get-go. Early, our Revolution got out there and endorsed Randy Bryce before they can see some of the field and see some of the choices. And I think clearly after watching some of those debates, and go ahead and watch for yourself, find them. Not the best sound, but Randy Bryce looks lost out there. Kathy looks ready. Kathy's won some elections before for the school board. I mean, it was a great story. Randy Bryce, he, you know, a union worker, spoke with the Iron Stash, spoke with Bernie Sanders at a rally, whatnot, but they jumped the gun. Randy Bryce also has a lot of baggage. If he wins this primary, it's going to be a hard election to win come November, where Kathy Myers seems more poised, more ready, and could win that election. So once again, this progressive alliance, hopefully Gail is watching, Gail Forrest wins, because we have to really get together on this one. Last night was a showing. I mean, I know some establishment Democrats felt the ouch of the Green Party, fam.
Yes.
Some
establishment Democrats in Ohio lost by 1,000 votes, and there were Green Party members that were part of those 1,000 votes. However, fam, let's put this out there, okay?
Okay.
Do not attack the Greens for voting their conscience.
Yep.
Those people who are green
Yep.
are not guaranteed to ever vote Democrat. They hate the Democrats, literally. And it's funny because I voted Green in the last general election for Jill Stein, and I'm one of those people that, I'm Dem enter, but I still believe in having both at the same time. And it's just really shitty to see Democrats and both, including progressives, turn around and blame people for voting their conscience. And here's the fact, fam, like these votes, they could have voted, if the Green Party weren't there, they could vote independent, they could not vote, or they could vote Republican. So you cannot ever count on these votes to be Democratic votes. So it's useless to attack them. It's more fruitful to go and focus on the non-voters, the people that don't ever vote, and get them to the polls, because we still, all in all, have a low voter turnout as a country.
Yep. Well, here was the two issues. Number one, they ran a centrist in Ohio in the special election, and he even came out there and said it. And the campaign mentality was to go after disgruntled Trump voters. This is just what we talked about last week when we talked about the 250 to 400 centrist Democrats in a room getting convinced to go out and pick off votes from the right. Go get the disgruntled Trump voters and bring them over. And it was like the Chuck Schumer one. Remember, he said, for every Democrat we lose, every moderate Democrat we lose in Ohio, we'll gain 2 red Republican moderates in Virginia, and you can repeat that in Pennsylvania. Well, the plan didn't work. And number 2, last night, other than the fact that they ran a centrist is not going to win. You went after Republican votes. The Green Party, look at this. Put this up here. You got to watch this over here. Look at it. They're at it again. Fam, you want to read this one?
No, you can read this.
Obscene amount of Green Party voters. Right, we have two choices: Democrats or Russians. If you vote Green, you are voting for Russia. They do this all again in November. If I read it correctly, the Green Party, get your shit together. Stop voting for Russia. Give me the other one. Where's the other one? Look at this here. This is just hysterical. We're going to go get more Trump. We lost in Ohio thanks to the Green Party. Chaos, complacency. Russia. Jill Stein gave us Trump.
Wow.
We block resistance because they're Team Scooby or not. I don't care what you think of each other. Unblock them. I'm guilty too. Unite or lose. Your choice. This whole mentality of that the Green Party is part of the Russians. Like Russian meddling has now been the situation that's going on with the elections. Literally with no proof whatsoever. People were saying that there was Russian
because Jill Stein
meddling.
sat next to Vladimir Putin. Do you
Yes.
know how many times Hillary Clinton has been next to Vladimir Putin?
Well, I'm sure they were together when it came to uranium one when they made a deal. They were very close to each other, which I want to transition to something right now because this whole Russian scare, we just can't get away from it. I'm like, somebody said to me, Pasta, will you stop talking about it? I said, yes. But then all of a sudden we turn on Twitter last night. We see all these posts. Yep. We see all the Russian narratives, and it leads to this. Let's start talking about this because why it is so dangerous, and I want to connect the dots for you. Last week or 2 weeks ago, Vladimir Putin and Donald Trump went to meet. I'm going to talk about Syria right now, okay? Syria and Assad were aligned with Russia, okay, which is bad for American interest. United States was aligned with the Saudis and the Israeli governments, and what this war was basically about energy, about a pipeline. You see, put the pipeline up. Okay, the blue pipeline you can see over there, that represents the U.S.-backed Turkey pipeline. That is why they wanted a friendly government in Syria, because they wanted to be able to put that pipeline right through there. You have to see how it goes through Syria, where Russia want to do business with Iran, because they're once again friends with Iran, go up through the northern part of Iraq, then go through Syria. And that's what this proxy war has been about, these two sides fighting. Okay, so what happens is the U.S. and its allies see an opportunity to really go after Assad and remove the regime when the Arab Spring broke out. Now, there was protests going all over the country. Let's show you some of the protests. To be fair, the media showed a lot of the there's a pro-Assad protest, I should say, fighting for Assad, and then they have the anti-Assad. Assad, wake up, once again, funded by our government. Syria says, stop your ridiculous interference, America. Our handprints are all over this. Once again, we do this everywhere. We get involved. We insert these coups. We wanted to get the oil. That was what it was about. It's about energy, right, fam?
Mm-hmm.
Do you have anything to add on this before I go on this? Because I'm going to get a step further what happens now.
Well, just the fact that, yeah, we every time you look at why we attack a government, an entire government that is actually liked by their people, like Assad is actually supported by his people. Yeah,
he was elected by his people.
Yeah, democratically.
Yeah.
And he's also, but we paint him as, as this evil man. However, I'm not saying, he hasn't done what he has done. Same with Putin. However, these leaders, like in Venezuela and in with Assad, you have to look and see why we villainize and vilify these people, because it always comes down to our interests are being threatened. It always comes down to the fact that money is on the line. Money for very powerful people, not money for the rest of us.
No.
But money for very powerful people, which is why you'll continuously see Democrats and Republicans vote for war.
Yeah,
I mean, that's where their interests lie.
And I can't stand when I hear a lot of neoconservatives speak about, well, we're doing it for our own interest. I'm like, whose interest? That money's not going to the people. It's going to the oligarchs. They're making the money. Once again, you see the interference. Let me go a step further. Now, so fam, chaos breaks loose in Syria. This is Barack Obama, Hillary Clinton. We start funding forms of Al-Qaeda, whatnot. But the most influential group, the group of, once we do this global smear campaign, it's called the White Helmets.
Okay.
Now, the White Helmets, are we okay there? Why is the camera not plugged in? It's right down over here. It goes right into it. Oh, dude, yeah, we have a plug. We're all volume right now. We're going to have to stop for 1 second. Stream on off.